So today in our shapes and measurement book, it's going to be kind of a review day. We're going to open it up to our table of contents, and you'll see that today we are going to be making page 6, which is quadrilaterals. So go ahead and write that in your book. Okay, so quadrilaterals are on page 6. If you need to stop the video, go ahead to write that word, and then you can catch up. Okay, so I'm going to go past 1 was rectangle, page 2 was angles, 3 is squares, 4 is the trapezoid, and 5 is the parallelogram, and we used in particular the rhombus for the parallelogram. Okay, so today is page 6, so let's write that on the bottom. Write our title, quadrilateral, and then underline the part of the word quad, because quad means 4. Okay, and that's important for what we're doing today, because quadrilaterals all have 4 sides. So if you go back to the very beginning, when we did page 1, we made a rectangle. So let's go ahead and draw a rectangle, and I'm going to make mine about 5 centimeters long, and then I'll make mine 3 centimeters wide. A rectangle has 4 sides, so another name in math for a rectangle would be a quadrilateral. So it's kind of like we've got these different shapes. Any shapes that have 4 sides would all be underneath the umbrella of the name quadrilateral. Okay? So if a rectangle has 4 sides, and a rectangle, let's write that over here. A rectangle is a quadrilateral. Okay? We also said that a square, let's use our ruler to make sure that we actually have a square. Let's stick with the centimeters. So we'll make it 3 centimeters long, 3 centimeters wide. And if you've got a notebook, you can use those lines to help you make them straight. 3 centimeters long and 3 centimeters wide. Okay, so this has 4 sides, which makes it a quadrilateral, and it is called a square, also known as a special kind of rectangle. Okay, now the next one would be, even if a rectangle, now this rectangle is long, even if the rectangle was wide or laying down, it would still be a quadrilateral. Okay, another quadrilateral that we made was this one, where we had the diagonal lines. And we're going to make that 5 centimeters long, or on the side. Okay, and let's go ahead and make the same parallel line, 5 centimeters. Okay, going in the same direction. Okay, remember which one this one is called? Goes by the name of rhombus, but it can also be a parallelogram. Pair of L's. It has the lines that are parallel, and I'm 9 centimeters across the top and across the bottom. Okay, so this one has 2 names. We'll call this one the rhombus. But let's also write that all of these are parallelograms, because one of the attributes is that it has the 4 sides. Okay, and we have one more that we did already. That would be a quadrilateral that had 4 sides. And it's the one that looks like a trap door. Okay, so let's make this one Let's do this one. Let's see. Let's make this one 8 centimeters on the top. Okay, remember these are going to go the opposite of the rhombus. These are going to be diagonal, but they are not parallel. Okay, and it's okay if it doesn't look exactly like mine, as long as you've got your lines that are going diagonal. And then let's go ahead and connect down there. And this one has the name. Remember, if you put the handle on it, you can trapezoid. So this is the trapezoid. Trapezoid. All right, and all of these are all shapes that we've already drawn. They all have 4 sides, and so they're all called quadrilateral. So if I asked you, is a rhombus a quadrilateral? You would count 4 sides. Yes, it is. Okay? So after this page, on page 7, we're going to get to the next shape, which does not have 4 sides. Okay? And it has 5 sides. So we're going to go ahead and do that one today. So we're going to go back to our table of contents. And this one is called a pentagon. Pentagon. Okay, and this will be on page 7. So we have all of our shapes above here are all quadrilaterals, and now we're going to be learning some other shapes that have more than 4 sides. So let's go to page 6, and our next page would be page 7. And this one is going to be our pentagon. Okay? Now, the word pent means 5. So that helps us to know how many sides our pentagon is going to have. Our shape will have 5 sides. Okay? So let's go ahead and draw a line horizontal. Then we're going to draw 2 parallel lines going down. Okay, so far it looks like you might be making a rectangle or a square, except now we're going to go, if you go right down the middle and go a little bit further, you can draw a little point and then draw your lines diagonal to that point. Now if you play sports or if you've watched baseball, this looks like home base. Okay, home base is actually the shape of a pentagon. All right, so I want to show you another way. This one would be home base in baseball, but if we turn this around and we start with our straight line on the bottom, okay, horizontal, and our parallel lines on the side. And then this time we're going to make the point on the top. So it looks a lot like the way I make a house, okay? Which actually kind of goes with what we're talking about. A house, or the Pentagon building in Washington, D.C. is a building where people go to work. And it's actually shaped like a pentagon. And it's called the Pentagon. Now, the Pentagon on 9/11, on September 11th, was one of the buildings that the airplane crashed into. Okay, so when you think about the Pentagon, you can think about home base, or Pentagon, the name of the building that was crashed into. And so there are some videos that you can watch that talk about the Pentagon. All right, so let's name this one home plate. So you remember that a pentagon, it could be home plate, or let's write the Pentagon building. And this would be a capital P because it is the name of the building. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and write some of the attributes. So if you're looking at this shape and you want to figure out, well, what is this shape, you could look at the attributes. One of the first things that we notice is it has 5 sides. Okay? Now, we also know that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertices. Oops. Okay? And then I want you to take a look at the angles. So if it has 5 vertices, then it also has these angles. So if you look at this one and this one, you can tell that those are, we could make a square. So those are called what kind of angles? Right angles. So how many right angles does the pentagon have? 2. 2 right angles. And so then that means these other angles would be another kind of angle. And I like to draw, if I draw on the outside, then I can see what that angle looks like. Is that a right angle? No, it's a lot wider. So it would be an obtuse. Obtuse is more than 90 degrees. All right, so we have how many obtuse? 3 obtuse angles. So it's kind of funny. You could play a game with your family, asking them, I'm thinking of a shape. It has 5 sides, 5 vertices, 2 right angles, and 3 obtuse angles, and they would have to guess which shape it is. Okay? You, of course, would know that it's the pentagon as soon as I said 5 sides. Now let's go ahead and figure out the perimeter. Okay? Let's use this one because let's use this one because it's a little bit bigger. All right? So when I measure the side here, that's 4 centimeters. On this side over here, 4 centimeters. Now yours may be different because we did not measure at the beginning. And that's fine if you have different numbers than I have. My top line is 5 centimeters. My diagonal is 3 centimeters. And this one over here is also 3 centimeters. Okay, you should have a total of 5 numbers that we're adding because there are 5 different sides. Okay, to figure out the perimeter, looks like perimeter, we need to add all of the sides. All right, so we've got 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, 5 different numbers. 5 plus 4 is 9, 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 4. So I know 9 plus 6, 15, plus the 4. 5 plus 4 is 9, and bring down the 1. 19 centimeters all the way around the home plate. Okay? So if I wanted to figure out how big the real Pentagon building was, would I use centimeters? Of course not. How about inches? No, the Pentagon building is huge. And I think if you watch one of the videos on YouTube, it actually tells you the size of the Pentagon building. All right? So we did 2 today. Pentagon, which has 5 sides, and the quadrilateral, all of the shapes that we have done so far, quad meaning 4. All right, so I'll see you next time.